Hello and welcome to round 7 of the F3 Championship for PSF1. We're at Season 9 and the mid-season promotion round. As you can see that unfortunately Jazzy has just taken out Manuel Hamilton to the newbies for this week. And Manuel Hamilton, I can imagine, won't be very impressed by that, and Jazzy looks to be struggling. He's hit about every wall in existence so far. Let's see how he manages the final sector. He is definitely not one of the quicker drivers, I can tell already. Comes into the final corner now, and that will be invalidated, I would imagine, and crosses the line. Let's just have a quick look what it was. It's not even going to register. Let's just have a quick look what that time was, just so we can get a rough idea of where he is. We didn't... Oh, sorry, that was his outlap, that's why. So, that is why we had no time come up at all. Just watch the lap delta, sorry. So yeah, unfortunately only 9 runners today. Miles seems to have put it in the wall early on, didn't quite see that. But yeah, so we'll ride on board with Jazzy as he comes round. Himself and Manuel Hamilton, the two debutants at the moment. Man United Jono made his debut last week, although I did think he was a random that sneaked in. I do apologise about that. And at the moment, Domain Zane on pole with a 1:38.9. Zalmas in second with a 1:39.8, just about. And as you see here, Jazzy very much struggling through this tight section now in the middle sector. Out of the hairpin, all over the place really. And he's the only one out on track that's actually setting a competitive time. Man United Jono's on an in-lap. Tez is on a competitive lap here by the looks of it. Zalmas comes in. Zane is also in, so they'll be coming in for a second. They'll be going out for a second run at some point. Man United Jono as well coming in. Zonda coming into the pits. So Jazzy is the only driver out on track at the moment. So he completely misses turn 20 and 21. Comes through, goes for another lap. And of course that was a flying lap of 1:49.6. So he is going to be lapped very early on, unfortunately for him. And he did pick up front wing damage earlier on, but I think the game has somehow given him his front wing back, so not quite sure how that's managed to occur. But yeah, there may be quite a few silent periods during the race, because we have only got 9 drivers, and judging by Miles's qualifying performance, we may even finish with less than that. So literally it will be quite a quiet stream, I would imagine, today, unfortunately. So we'll try and... sorry, as Dougie of course isn't here this week, but I'll try and keep it as entertaining as possible. But like I said, it may be a little bit tricky because of the lack of numbers. It is going to be dry, but hopefully that will it'll aid some of the drivers in some ways where they are not so good in the wet conditions. As you can see, the top 3 really sort of the only ones close, and then everyone else has dropped right off. So we'll see how that develops into race pace, and of course the second qualifying run as well. There's everyone in the pit apart from Jazzy still at the moment. 2 minutes 50 left on the clock. Another part of the wall tapped as he comes round into the stadium section under the stand there. Again missing the corner. I think he just got away with that one. Is it going to be an improvement? It's going to be a big one actually if he can hold it together. Much better lap this from Jazzy. It's a 1:45.4. And see that 4 seconds quicker. He's still well off the pace though. Needs to be setting 1:39's minimum if he wants to be anywhere near the quicker guys. Zonda's out, Zalmas out, Zane out as well. This will be a test of who really can bring the most out of their car without ploughing into the wall. The lead yet to set a lap as well. So we'll try find Zane. Where is he? He's on an out lap at the moment. So Zalmas slightly further around the circuit. He's coming into the middle sector, sorry, the final sector even. Teza currently on an out lap coming into the first corner. Man United Jono as well in the first sector. And Zonda onto a lap then, so we'll stay with Zonda and see what happens from him in qualifying. We'll ride on board now as he comes into the second part of the circuit, second sector now. 27.7 is his first sector split. It's not the best. A little bit wide on apex, but that's not too bad through 8. This tight, tricky section of turns 10, 11 and 12. Can you hold it together? Hits the wall. I think he may have just got away with it there, Zonda. A little bit wide on apex at the hairpin. Not too bad there, though. Coming into the final sector now. Nice and tight on apex, and Manuel Hamilton stuns the field with a 38.3. It's still not very quick, but it is pole for now. Hits the wall again, Zonda. We'll just have a little look at who else is coming around. Zane has just started his lap. Oh, and he loses the back end coming out of 3. As he comes up into turn 5 now. Let's have a little look through here. Yeah, much tidier through there, so he's got the car together a bit more. And Jazzy has retired. I can only imagine that's... Oh wow, that's impressive to lose that there. That is very impressive indeed. And the lead just about avoiding. And Zane has retired, so he's obviously... Oh, he's off his front wing, and it's obviously come back there, which the game seems to do a lot of, which means that he won't start on pole. And although Salvatore isn't here, he's not going to be able to take advantage of that. Zalmas finishes with a 39.9. He was just off his time. He's obviously made a mistake somewhere. Man United Jono coming round into the middle sector as well. Tezza in the middle sector also. And they're all quite close together actually, having said that. So we'll keep an eye on where these guys finish. And 2 drivers not to set a lap, that is very unusual. It is a tricky circuit, Singapore, 23 corners. Coming into the final few corners now, and he may have just invalidated there, Man United. And yep, he comes into the pits, although he's completely missed it. And pits at the end of his lap. Tezza coming to the last couple of corners now. Can he keep it clean? Oh, it's a good one through the last corner. A little bit slow, but he gets P3 with a 1:39.0. Big improvement on his previous lap. Now, can Zonda beat that? Nope, he is going very slow. So he will cross the line and start from P4 on the grid here at Singapore. We did have a threat of rain earlier on for the race, but it is cleared up now. And that will be that. So we're just waiting for Jono here to retire, and then we'll get to the final qualifying classification. 2 drivers not to set a lap, although they probably would have set a lap if they take it easy, because Jazzy is starting in front of them with a very, very slow lap indeed, 1:45 in fact. So it's close to intermediate's pace, I would actually say. So we'll see what happens regarding the race pace, etc. Just waiting for Jono to retire now, and then we'll get started. And we'll go through the grid, although it's not a very big one today, unfortunately. So as you can see that our grid, unfortunately only 9 drivers. In fact, sorry, we have 10 because Frag joined halfway through qualifying. So So he's joined a bit late. He will be here though for the race. So we've got Manuel Hamilton on pole with a 38.3, ahead of Domain Zane with a 38.9. He had to retire on his lap because he lost a part of his front wing. Tezza in third, Hot Zonda in fourth. We don't often see that. In front is Almas in fifth, Jono in sixth, Jazzy in seventh with a 1:45. And the Lee and Miles make up the final two cars, yet didn't set a lap time. So hopefully all the drivers will adhere to the 2 minutes we have, and that'll be on timer now. So hopefully they can all adhere to it. Anyone that's watching the stream and is racing at the same time, you have 2 minutes from now. And unfortunately Jono has readied up, so he will receive a reprimand or a 10-second penalty at the end of the race. Hopefully all the drivers manage to get their strategies changed. You can vary around here, 2 stop, 1 stop it is, depending on preference. But 1 stop can be done from ultra softs to super softs if you can nurse your tyres. Ultra softs to softs is a bit more of a straightforward strategy, and then of course ultra supers and then ultras again is another strategy that they can use. So onto the formation lap then. Man United very slow way. No, sorry, Manuel Hamilton, sorry. Just try and get the camera to change, there we go. They'll come around now, and of course Frag joining us now. He will be racing in the Ferrari today, although he normally races in what I believe is the Williams. Well, yeah, he's just fine-tuning now. Miles in P9 didn't set a lap. He starts on the ultra soft, the Lee starting on the super soft. Now this is where it could be interesting, because of course all of those guys that didn't set a lap, they've got a chance to start on different tyres. Frag did as well, but he's opted for the softest of the softs, and that is the ultra soft tyres here today. Softest available compound. But Miles and the Lee, sorry, Miles and Frag opting for ultra softs, and then the Lee opting for the Red Bull super soft tyres. The Jazz in front, as you can see, they're lagging quite significantly actually. Somehow got in front of Zonda as well. Very quick formation lap here. And hopefully they don't wear out their tyres too much. Fuel is fairly easy here. It's not the worst in terms of fuel usage. You can save a lot of fuel in the final and middle sectors, because this final sector is basically just 4 chicanes with a couple of extra corners. But as Manuel backs them up now, they come into the final few corners now. With 10 drivers today, it is literally finish and receive points. Let's see who manages to actually complete the challenge today. 31 laps then of the Marina Bay Street Circuit here in Singapore. It will be dry throughout, although F1 later on, an 8:30 start also, remember. So make sure you tune in half an hour later for that one if you watch that. And yeah, there is possibility of rain there, although it has been changing throughout the day. So then, they're under starters' orders as they all load onto the grid. It is Manuel Hamilton on pole, it's Domain Zane in P2. 5 red lights, and away they go, and it looks like a decent start here for the Force India. We've got a Ferrari, that's Frag in the background, who hasn't moved at all, and it's Manuel Hamilton that takes them away. Slightly further down, there's a bit of contact between one of the Williams, and Frag's not moved still. Nope, he's going to be disqualified there. Oh, and the Lee with damage, Zalmas as well with damage, Jazzy also with damage, I believe. Yep, front right end plate. Zalmas going up the inside. Miles has crept up into P6 already. And it's all happening in the first lap. We've got Domain Zane looking to make a move on the Force India of Manuel Hamilton. But he stays behind for now, and he'll just sit behind him for a couple of more corners. I don't think he's going to make a move through the middle sector. We've got more moves going on further down. That's Jazzy again getting picked off. And oh my goodness, what on earth was that? I've never seen someone perform a move like that before around Singapore. Frag is going eventually. And he's almost hit the wall there. Don't know if he's got a default setup on actually, but as you can see there, the Lee, Zalmus, all with front wing damage, and Miles adds to that list, and he's completely ploughed the back of whoever that was, and he is going to retire. Wow. So we're already down to 9 runners. Yep, Miles not going anywhere anytime soon, so he will probably retire in a few seconds. Which means that the top 5 are the only ones to not have wing damage or have any incidents. Or as I say, that Tezza nearly hits the wall. We could have an easy podium on his hands here today. No Liliart, of course, either. He's normally up there as well. For the moment, everyone's kept it fairly clean, other than 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th. And there you go, Miles has retired. And Frag seems to be struggling. Oh, that's why he's got front wing damage. And Jazzy, already after lap 1, having completely lost his front wing after trying to dive bomb into turn 8, and he's going to completely miss the pits, is he? Nope, he hits the inside wall instead. And makes it into the pits without getting a penalty. And the Lee has got his front wing back, so unless he didn't have damage originally, I'm pretty sure he had front right wing damage, but maybe not. Meanwhile, Zalmus does have damage. He seems to be making this a bit of a regular ordeal now, unfortunately for him. Jazzy onto the softs then. He can't take those to the end. It'd be an amazing effort if he actually got close to it, but you could probably pit around lap 20, lap 25 and then put the ultras on again. We'll see what he opts for later on. At the moment watching this battle for P5. Jono in front of Zalmus. Zalmus with the front wing damage. And the Lee behind on the super soft tyres, in a very good position at the moment. You see there, Zane just dropping back to just over a second now. Manuel Hamilton does look quick, but he can't go up through the mid-season promotions due to the fact that they've already been locked with Zane and Salvatore going up after this race, so they'll be in F2 for the second part of Season 9. So if you're following those drivers, make sure you tune into the PSF1 channel next week. But for the moment, it's Zalmus that's got right up behind Jono here. We've got a yellow in Sector 3. That's not the Lee, sorry. Oh, it's Tezza. So Tezza's had a moment somewhere. He's obviously just lost the back end and spun because there's no damage. Zonda is the lucky one that picks off Tezza and moves up into 3rd place. We've actually got a 4-way battle forming for that podium spot at the moment. This could be quite a good race. Darts to the inside, does Zalmus. He's catching Jono and he makes a good move up the inside. A little bit of contact. Although I don't think Jono was particularly in a position to defend that. He was already up the inside with Zalmus. And he goes on again. Front wing, depending on what setup they're running, won't actually affect him too much. It just depends, like I said, what setup he's running. If he's running high front downforce, that will affect him. If he's not, then he'll be fine. Frag's in the pits already. He's sustained more front wing damage. You can see that the front left and front right part of the wing is gone. And Jazzy's already got front wing damage again. And he'll be lucky not to get disqualified from this if he continues cutting corners like that. He's going to continue on though. We'll just get back to the front, and it's Manuel Hamilton leading by almost 1.5 seconds now. We just popped down again the delta, but it is getting to a point where Zane is beginning to lose his grip on the back of that Force Indio, slipping back now. I don't think he's going to be able to catch him either, because Zane has not looked quick in qualifying, and Manuel now beginning to show his pace. 3 laps in, nearly 4 laps now. A little bit of rear end instability, but he's still pulling away nonetheless. If we take a look further back, Zonda is the one in that final podium position. He's 6 seconds behind Zane though, so he's losing about 2 seconds a lap at this stage. And Zalmus will be trying to catch these guys. I'm not sure if he'll be able to though with that front wing damage. Not too bad of a lift. He's 1.8 seconds off of Tezza, who is catching Zonda here, having made that mistake in the final sector last lap. Getting back up to speed and back up to attacking mode. Takes a much wider line. Did he actually sustain front wing damage there? Nope, so he was just a lot more aggressive. We've got a yellow in sector 2. I can only imagine that's Frag or Jazzy. There you go, it's Frag going slowly. And unfortunately Frag is just being caught live on stream trying to deliberately take his wing off. along with Jazzy, who is, at the moment, he's very, very far behind. He may end up getting lapped by about lap 7, lap 8 at this rate. Manuel Hamilton still leading the race then. Tesla's actually caught right up to the back of Zonda. Zonda struggling here. Could be a chance for Tesla into the hairpin. Not quite close enough though. Oh, Zonda with a bit of rear end wiggle. And Zalmas did the same, slightly further back. Is he going to have a look now? Tesla trying to go around the outside. Zonda, has he gone too deep maybe? I think he's just kept it for now. Tesla opting for the long way round again. And Zonda, did he hit the inside wall there? I wonder. Oh my goodness, that was a little bit scary with that camera. Tesla's just going to have to sit behind, and this is helping Zalmas catch up. And it will help him as well, because of course with that front wing damage, the closer he can stay, the better, because it means he's not going to lose as much time. They come over the line, 3rd, 4th and 5th. All separated by less than 2 seconds. Too far back to have a look into turn 1. Misses the apex for turn 1, but he can still bring it back into 2, now into 3. And that is the Ferrari of Frag, I believe. Yep, so he's just come out of the pit, so he's behind all these guys. Zonda's just been overtaken into turn 5, has he? Nope, I think he just got the better run there, Tezza, but Zonda holding the line up the inside for turn 5. And he's actually let Tezza through there by the looks of it. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Zalmas maybe having a look now up the inside, and he thought about it. He wasn't quite brave enough though. And Zonda's struggling for pace. He's got a full wing still, so whether it's just lack of practice or what, I'm not quite sure. But they are really dropping back from the leaders at this stage. It is a 2-horse race up front. 1.4, so the gap is stable, but Zane just can't close in at the moment. Again, that's high speed section coming off the bridge. Oh, and Zonda very nearly putting it in the wall. Zalmas isn't close enough to make a move down into turn 12. I believe this one is. And we've got another yellow in sector 2 and 3. That is Frag and the Lee. Hopefully there's no damage there. There is. I think the Lee just got away with it. He's struggling though. We've got another yellow, that is Frag again, and he just keeps hitting every single wall imaginable at the moment. And Zalmas picked up a 3-second time. I think that's the first one we've actually seen, so that's surprising. And Zonda into the pits. Very early stop on lap 6. He's obviously not got the tyre wear, crawls into the pits at a snail's pace. He gets jumped by Jono. Now what tyres is he going to go onto? Because this is an interesting strategy here. Very early pit stop, end of lap 6. And as you can see there, Ultrasoft's going on. That is an interesting call. And he's done this before, Zonda. He's made some interesting strategy calls, so he's going to have to pit at least once more. So he's definitely going for a 2-stop strategy. Comes out in P7. He's not going to be overtaken by Jazzy. It's pretty much 7th place that is last at the moment. The other two definitely won't catch. See, the gap's all just beginning to get that little bit bigger now, a little bit more elongated, and we're seeing a lot less action on track because of it. And it's mainly because Zalmas at the moment has that front wing damage, he's having to slow down. Tezza is now in P3 of course because Zonda's just pitted. Nice and smooth out the hairpin, no drama there. And the lead still 3.4 behind Jono. Keeps it tidy through the hairpin, no drama there again. As you can see there, the time marks from where Zonda had his little bit of a slip earlier on. And Zane's beginning to close the gap back down again. Let's see if he can catch. He looks to be running no traction, in fairness to him. Holds it in 6th gear. Can get away through there with just a little lift. Sometimes not if you've got the right setup on. He's a lot closer as we look here at the split. There you go. Just under a second. I think it may have just popped up there. He is within DRS range, and as you can see that flap open, that's creating that extra bit of straight line speed. It's enabling him to get close Jono's also in the pit, so this is going to be interesting because the Lee has already passed him. And is he going to come out ahead of Zonda? No, he's not. So, Zonda there with a good undercut move. You see there on the right hand side, the Mercedes crawls out the pits. So Jono's lost out quite substantially there, unless he got a wing change, not quite sure. He almost hits the inside wall. And we'll see how that forms later on. Zayn is now tucked right up behind Manuel Hamilton. That is why the front right end plate again. As you can see there, front right end plate has come off. He's obviously hit a wall somewhere or something. But that's often the case. Zayn was just waiting for him to make that mistake, and all of a sudden is right up his gearbox. And I'm presuming this is going to force Manuel Hamilton into a pit stop. It is manageable. You can. Oh my goodness! And Zayn was all over the curb there. That's the actual road curb. That one. Oh, and is he? No, he's just about got away with it, Manuel Hamilton there. I thought he was going to come flying into the track, but he's kept it nice and clean through there. We've got one of the Red Bull nose cones there. I don't know if Tesla's coming in. Nope, he stays out again. So he's actually going to jump Manuel Hamilton here. And Zalmas may even get past as well. Excuse me. May even get past as well. And indeed he does. The Lee may even get past him as well, because it's a very slow pit lane. 37 miles an hour. I believe it's 50 kph. Correct me if I'm wrong. But as you can see there, the Lee has already gone past. He's miles in front. He's onto the Superstar, so we'll be going for a two-stop strategy. He'll probably go... Oh, and he's lost it! And he got very lucky there that the game has reset him on track. Very lucky indeed. So, Manuel Hamilton, bit of a scare moment there, but he's back on track now. No front wing damage either, he got lucky there. And let's just go with Zayn for a little bit, see what he's doing in terms of... Is he struggling for grip? No, he seems to be nice and clean still. And Manuel Hamilton's now got to try and get past the Lee. And it doesn't tend to be the easiest of drivers to pass. You can see there on the timing screen, Jazzy and Frag over a minute down on each other. So they are definitely not going to be in any sort of place to challenge for any more points than they've got. We've got a yellow in sector 1. Jazzy is currently fighting with Zayn. I'm not quite sure why he's doing that. Hopefully Zayn didn't get any wing damage there. Nope, he's squeaky clean for now. Frag has gone into AI mode. I'm not sure if he popped up saying he's left the session at the bottom. Yeah, it did. So I just missed that there as Jazzy went through. So Frag won't score any points, even though it's literally finishing you score points. Jazzy needs to get off these tyres and get a new front wing. He's struggling like crazy at the moment. And Tesla's into the pits then. Zalmas goes past for another lap. Puts on a set of the Red Bull Super Soft tyres. So he again going for a two-stop. As the Lee comes round, he will jump him. Manuel Hamilton's going to catch him as well. And Zonda may even get past as well here. Where is Tesla? Coming into the pit exit now. There you go, there is Zonda in the background. Comes flying past. And he is through. Zonda on the faster tyre as well. So, back to square one for Tesla. He's actually lost time as well, but of course he is on these tyres where he can go a little bit longer. So as long as he can keep within a decent sized gap, he's in a great position. And we've got a move going on for third place. Manuel Hamilton forced wide. Sure enough, up the inside of turn 8, he's going to go for it. The lead gives him all the space he could want, and it's a very easy move in the end for Manuel Hamilton. Down into turn 6, didn't quite see that one there. Sorry, turn 7. Didn't see that one on the brakes. The lead seemed to push him wide, but I'm not quite sure what happened because he was in front just before that. Whether he just outbraked himself or what, I'm not quite sure. But Zalmas has lost a lot of time to Zayn. As you can see that the gap is almost a pit stop. And speaking of pit stops, let's see if Zayn comes in this lap. Nope, he stays out for another one then. He's definitely going for the conservative one-stop strategy. He'll go onto the soft tyres either this lap or in the next 2. And Manuel Hamilton at the moment picking his way up through the field very easily, very efficiently. But the advantage that he has over Zayn at this stage is that he's got fresh tyres and can push. Zayn can't push because he's on worn tyres. So that may be a factor to come into play. Just watch the deltas, 4 seconds to the lead. And it's 7 seconds now to Zalmas, who's caught him second already just in those last few corners. That front wing really beginning to affect the Sauber. And we'll see if the one stop or the two stop comes out on top today. Zalmas obviously will get a front wing change. Jazzy's back into the pits. He's eventually decided that enough is enough with that front wing, and he's onto a set of super soft tyres. As who's that coming round in turn 1? That is one of the Mercedes drivers. Lets him pass very nicely there. And Jono will go on his way. Skip back to the lead then. Zayn in control of this race. Manuel Hamilton has brought that gap down to 5.5 already. That was 8 seconds beginning of this lap. It just shows you how much time Zalmas is actually losing and how much time Zayn is losing, because that gap has only gone up by about 8 tenths. So he's not massively quicker than Zalmas, and Zalmas is losing a lot of time to Manuel Hamilton. So if Zayn doesn't pit soon, he's going to be behind Manuel Hamilton, and that could affect him, because of course if Manuel Hamilton's on quicker tyres and in clean air, he's going to be a lot quicker. So Zayn's got to respond here, and he's going to pit this lap. So there you go. He's obviously seen the gaps. He has got a pit stop. Oh, and he's got a 5-second stop go. But this is his only stop, so it will be added to the end. It will be added to his time at the end of the race, which is actually quicker than actually serving the stop go, because the mechanics seem to take a bit longer than 5 seconds to actually start performing maintenance on the car. So he got a bit lucky there. Manuel Hamilton comes across the line. He's going to be in front of a fastest lap as well, 1:41.7. And Zayn comes out the pits. He's miles behind Manuel Hamilton, and the Force India goes through. There is Zayn in the background. Zayn does not have to stop again though, and Hamilton does. So this will be interesting to see what happens. Zalmas also in the pits. Is he getting that front wing change? Yes, he is. Onto a set of the Ultra Softs. Now that has definitely thrown me, because he took those Ultra Softs for a long time, and he's now going for a 2-stop. So why on earth he didn't pit earlier and put on a set of supers, I'll never know. And he could have quite easily, he's probably quite easily thrown this race away already. And now he's got a Jazzy to deal with in front. So hopefully Jazzy gets out of the way pretty quickly. As you can see there, 2 minutes 16 down. He's almost, well, he's a lap and a half down on the leaders. Sorry, he's a lap and a half down on Zalmas, let alone the leaders. Zonda's gone for a move on the lead. Teza's behind him as well, so there's a three-way battle for the podium. It's come back to life. And at the moment, these guys just feeling their way. And Zonda, of course, has got to pit at least once more, potentially even twice more if he's not got his strategy on point. Oh, and Teza going for a move around the outside of the hairpin. You don't see that very often, if ever. And it looks like the lead's going to have to defend here. Oh, no, he's already lost the position, so Teza's already passed the Lee without any front wing damage for a change. Can't remember if he stopped or not. No, he hasn't, so he's the only driver not to stop, but he can quite easily go onto softs and go to the end if he chooses to. So super softs are very old indeed. Probably about 40%, maybe even 50% wear depending on tyres. And Jazzy has finally put it in the wall, and by my judgment he has just decided that enough is enough, and he's going to put it in the wall and not even try to brake, because that is a very unusual place to miss your braking that badly. I might be wrong, but there you go, that's just my view on that one. So as we see, the tyres at the moment are very different indeed. We've got Zayn, sorry, in P2, he's on softs. We've got Manuel Hamilton up front, he's on super softs, and we've got Hot Zonda in third on the ultra softs. So you've got 3 different tyre compounds in the top 10, but Zonda's got to stop again, Hamilton's got to stop again, Teza and sorry, the Lee has to stop, but he's only made one. He hasn't made a stop so far, so he's only got to make one stop in this race, and he can go onto the soft tyres if he chooses to do so. It's probably the best option for him at the moment in time. He is struggling, and oh, he very nearly hit the wall. He needs to probably pit this lap or the next lap just to make sure he doesn't lose too much time. He's got Jono behind him as well, who's already stopped and gone onto a set of supers. So it is very much a case of how much time does he want to lose. Tezza getting that gap down to almost under a second now. It could be DRS range for the main straight here. Not that he'll be able to make a move because it's quite a short straight. But we'll have a little watch over to see if he can actually make a move stick. The gap down to well under a second now. He'll probably have a look down into turn 7, I would imagine. That's the second DRS stretch. Much quicker than Zonda at this stage is Tezza. He looks quick as well, to be fair, Tezza, in that Red Bull. He hasn't looked quick every race this season, but he's had pace here and there. Let's see if he has a little look half a second down. Too far back to make a move on the Force India for now. As Zane is keeping that gap very honest at 4 seconds, so Hamilton will be checking his mirrors, that's for sure. You see now Tezza just keeping that gap down to 4/10. Let's see if he has a look. Into the hairpin now. He's very, very close to the back of that Force India. Is he going to have a look down into turn 13 then? Too far back again, I think, possibly. Yep, Tezza just unable to get close enough at the moment through this last sector. See if he can get close again on that front straight. Zalmas has actually got close to the back of Jono here, so I'm not quite sure what's happened here. No, Jono just not quite as quick as Zalmas. As Manuel Hamilton picked up that 3-second time penalty, that could be crucial. Very slow at the moment, these two, as they close in on the Lee as well, who needs to make a pit stop soon, otherwise he's going to be getting a puncture very shortly. Stays out again though, and Jono into the pit, so let's just make sure he doesn't crossover. Nope, all good. Zalmas is released from the clutches of the Mercedes and can free up himself. Try to get a bit of clean air now, although he's got the lead right in front, so he's going to have to make quick work of him. So follow these two actually for a while. In fact, Tez is actually very close to the back of Zonda and he's going for the outside into turn 7. No front wing damage there. He did just clip the wall, trying to go around the outside. Zonda, and there's contact between the two. I think he's just got away with it here. Zalmas as well, going for the same move. Oh my goodness, that was a scare. The Lee jolting from left to right. He's going to defend the inside, tries to push the Sauber wide. He's succeeded in doing so. Oh, Zalmas is in the wall. I did not see that coming at all. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Zalmas has clouted the wall coming out of turn 7. And you do not see many people hit that wall because it's, as you can see, there's a massive runoff area to the right. And maybe it's just spun up the rear tyres, not quite sure. But that is a big crash. And the Turk is out of this race. We're left with just 6 runners now because Frag has actually left the session. So Man United Jono will have some very easy points today. All you've got to do is keep it clean. As you can see there, leaving the session, and Tezza all over the back of this Force India now. It's like under the stadium here. Back out the other side again. Into the last couple of corners. Here's flat double apex left-hander. Almost flat, I say. It's a little lift required to get round it in one piece. Tezza's still stuck behind the Force India though. Not close enough to have a move. Down into turn 7 yet again. Zonda's doing a good job at the moment. He's got to keep Tezza behind him for as long as possible because of course he's got to stop again and he may have to choose the soft tyres, whereas Tezza can go onto the ultra softs if he can stretch these supers out long enough. About lap 20 or so, be expecting to see Tezza in for the ultras. He may even choose supers, you never know. only close battle on track at the moment is these two. Everyone else is at least 5 seconds away from each other. Tesla having a look up the inside, nothing going there though. Can Tezza put a move on the Force India and then get in front as he picks up a 3-second time penalty? So it's even more crucial now that he gets up. And did Zonda sustain damage there? No, I think he just got away with that, so he clips the ball yet again, but gets away with it once more. We saw that happen with one of the other drivers earlier on. At the moment, Manuel Hamilton is not doing what he needs to do. Oh, and Zonda picks up a 3-second time pen as well. So they're on a level playing field once again. But it is a matter of how quickly he can get past, because Zonda is holding him up. He's much quicker, and you can see here, moves to the inside of turn 6, up into turn 7 now, tries the outside line. Zonda's going to defend the inside. Has he outbraked himself here? Tezza cuts the corner to try and get past. Zonda has the inside for turn 8, and I don't think Tezza's going to be able to squeeze through. Is he? Up into turn 9, there's a bit of contact as he tries to go around the outside of turn 10. That's not going to happen. Sorry, turn 9. Turn 10 is surely not going to make a move. This is far too quick and far too narrow. Nope, backs out here into the kink at 11, but Zonda very wide. Into the hairpin now. Is Tezza close enough? Oh, did he clip the wall? And as I say that, Zonda goes sideways out of the hairpin. You do not want to be doing that on those tyres, that's for sure. Big slap of oversteer from the Force India driver. And he's just not able to get that car close enough at the moment. Oh, and what happened there? I'm not quite sure what Zonda was doing. That is a... Has he got a puncture? I think he might have a puncture, because if you listen to the engine... Yeah, I'm not sure if did he have a puncture there, or I missed that one. So, because Tezza just got past him, I think, just before, and he's got wing damage from it. So I'm presuming he's hit the back of Zonda as Zonda's tried to pit because he's got a puncture. So that is an interesting one. I don't know if Tezza will submit anything footage-wise against Zonda. He's onto the softs now, so he's completely dumbfounded me again. He's gone ultra soft when he could have quite easily gone ultra supers or straight onto the soft. So his tyre wear clearly isn't that good. Zonda's surprised us with quite a few strategies this season. And the Lee is still on these super soft tyres. It could have quite easily gone softs from about lap 12 onwards, but he's obviously going to try and do the one stop onto ultras, and he's very brave for trying that, that's for sure. Can he hold it together though on these dying tyres? It is going to be a case of how long till they pop. Is he going to be able to make it last? Closest battle at the moment is these two for first and second. Nothing going here though until the next pit stop, which should be around lap 20, 21, maybe a little bit later depending on what Hamilton wants to go for. And as you can see there's Zonda beginning to catch on the Lee now, but the Lee yet to make a pit stop. So, having made a pit stop, the lead now onto the ultra soft tyres, but he's got a 13-second deficit to Jono. And I don't think he'll be able to recover that, unfortunately. Mind you, Jono, having said that, has got to make another pit stop, so he'll probably jump him. But it's Zonda that he's going to have to try and catch then, and I don't think it's going to be possible, unfortunately. But it is going to be between Tezza and Zonda for that final podium spot. Tezza has to stop again, but he can go onto the ultra soft tyres. Let's see there, Manuel Hamilton in the foreground. And Zane comes through now, up through turn 6 into turn 7. Nothing really going on at this stage. We've just got to wait for the pit stops and see what happens with those and what tyres they go on to, really, because Manuel Hamilton could quite easily go for a set of supers if his tyre wear is not too good, but again could try the ultras like the Lee. So we'll keep an eye on those guys. Zane keeping that gap at around 5.5. And he's done well, to be fair, because as long as he doesn't lose another 15 seconds, he's almost guaranteed victory here today. Jono picks up a 3-second time pen for corner cutting. Multiple warnings for Jono there. Zane getting that gap down now to 5.1. He's gaining quite a bit on Manuel Hamilton. He got that front wing change, of course, during his last pit stop, which ultimately could have cost him about an extra 3-4 seconds. Sorry, an extra 5 seconds, because pit stop is around 8 seconds with a front wing change. Without, it's about 2.5, 2.6. So it really has hindered his performance, and maybe even taken away his race win, getting that damage. But he's still winning at the moment. He's got to make another pit stop though, unless he can make these super softs last. Now, I wouldn't say that he can make these super softs last, considering Zane's already catching him, and there's still 10-12 laps to go actually, sorry. So it's going to be a tough ordeal for him to stretch those tyres out that longer. He could try it. It's not the easiest track to overtake at, that's for sure. A little bit easier than Monaco, but very limited overtaking opportunities. But unlike street circuits like Australia, in Melbourne, there is a lot of high intensity braking zones, whereas Melbourne there's a lot of fast flowing corners, so it is extremely difficult to put an overtake on any of those corners really. Turn 3 and I believe it's turn 15 after the fast S section is your only real chances of an overtake in Australia. Everything else is fast paced. So yeah, there are quite a few different interesting overtaking opportunities here, but it is very narrow. That's the only issue with the street circuit here in Singapore. Gap still relatively the same. It's only just beginning to pick off a 10th here and there now. And it all depends on if Manuel Hamilton can make these, either A, make these super softs last, or B, gain enough time to get what will essentially be a 15-second deficit. Because it's around 20 seconds normally for a pit stop, but it'll be a bit longer because this pit lane is so slow. It's a 37-mile-an-hour pit limiter. So we'll have to make up for that if he chooses to pit again. It may not, of course, but he's already losing time to Zane, and Zane is on, I believe he's on fresher tyres actually, I'm not quite sure, but he's on soft tyres, so they will be able to last a lot longer. The durability on those is much better than the super soft tyres, although the super soft wear is good round here, and we've seen the lead prove that, so it's not impossible, but it is very tricky, that's for sure. As Zane, in pursuit of the 4-seater, picked up a 3-second time pen, so I believe that's his second one. So he may be in a case where he's got to try and pull 3 seconds over Hamilton, and that won't be easy. And Manuel has proved his pace today. Saying he's got to keep it out the wall and pray that he makes a mistake. The lead gets a 5-second stop go for speeding in the pit lane. He's obviously lost his wing again, so he's unfortunately managed 17 laps on super softs and then put it in the wall after 4 laps on ultra softs. So he will be lapped now, which means that 5-second stop go that won't be added at the end won't really make a difference, even if it was added. Man United Jono though catching on Hot Zonda, although he still has to pit again, so not really relevant there. But Zane continues to catch on Manuel, now the gap down to 4.3. Although, having said that, Zane has a 5-second stop go as well. I've just remembered. Zane has a 5-second stop go. And Man United Jono will receive a 10-second penalty for pressing X at the start of the race, not adhering to the 2-minute prep period rule that we have in place here in PSF1. And Tezza into the pits. So this is where the race really kicks off now. There are 10 laps to go. Zonda is coming through the final couple of corners now. Now the thing is, he's on soft tyres. They have done about 7 laps. Tezza is going to be on fresh ultras. Is he going to get out in front? No, he's not. I don't think he is. It's going to be close. I think Zonda's just going to get it though, as Jono comes in as well. Zonda is in front. So once again, these two will battle it out for the final podium spot. 9 laps to go. Can Zonda hold on? That is the question. The gap is 2 seconds. It's not much, and Zane is closing in up front as well. A minute from second to third. We don't often see that around here in F3 either, but it has taken its toll on quite a few of the drivers today. The track, like Singapore, is very, very tricky to nail it every lap, that's for sure. You see now the gap was 5 seconds a few laps ago, now it's 3.7. Gap tumbling down. Jono, I think, has just got out in front of the leaders, so he's going to have to let those through pretty quickly. And meanwhile now Tezza, this is the one we want to be watching. He's already gained 8 tenths on Zonda this lap. Can he stick a move on the force Indy? He struggled in the second stint, but he's in a great position now on those fresher tyres. I would say he's probably the better driver in this scenario as well. He's done quite well up to this point. He's got to keep it calm now. Gap now down to 3.6, but he has a 5-second stop go that will be added at the end. And just to confirm that, we'll have a little look now. So as you can see, the 3 seconds stop go and another 3 seconds, so he has got 11 seconds in total of penalties, and Manuel Hamilton only has 3, so he has 8 seconds of penalties over Manuel Hamilton. So he needs to either overtake him and get 8 seconds, or if Hamilton stops, which I don't think he will unless he pits now. Nope. He's going to try and take these tyres all the way to the end, and that is Tezza losing his front wing. And Zonda now in control because of that situation. I'm not quite sure what happened there. We caught tail end of it. Zonda went very, very wide. Sorry, Tezza went wide. In fairness to him, he's stuck right with him. And there he goes. Zonda's gone wide. Does Tezza have the run? He's got the grip, that's for sure. With not the best of lines. Zonda trying to defend the inside. Tezza goes back to the outside. And has Zonda gone deep? I think he's gone deep. Yes, he has. He's out. No. Yes, he has. He's gone deep into the corner. I thought he ploughed the wall for a minute. He's using the runoff area to good effect there. Lost the part of his front wing. Man United Jono, who's unfortunately in ghost mode, and so is the Lee, so they won't score any points if they continue that way. It is classified as cheating, because you are not completing the full race distance, so if they don't jump back in their cars they won't be classified. Although here is the lead back again after I say that, interestingly. The lead could quite possibly be watching the stream. We'll check back in with him then every so often just to make sure that he is still racing, as he picked up a 3-second time penalty as well. And Zonda already losing 7 seconds to Tezza. And Zane's now beginning to realise that it's not going to be a pit stop from Manuel Hamilton. It is going to have to be overtake him on track for position. And this could actually play into Zane's hands, because the more Hamilton has to fight, he picks up another warning there, surely. Not a 3-second time pen though. So yeah, if he does have to fight, that's going to affect his super soft tyres. So the longer Zane can fight Hamilton for, in terms of as quick as he can catch up to him and try and force Manuel Hamilton to take different lines, it's going to hurt him more. Although now he's got 14 seconds worth of pens, so he's got 11 seconds more than the man in front of him. It's not going well today for Zane. Got out qualified for the first time in a long time. And the Lee has somehow... Where has he lost that? That is it's a very interesting place to lose it. That's in the last sector, I believe. Yeah, so that's turn 16. Just a very interesting place to lose it there. Man United Jono is still in AI mode, so he won't be classified if he continues that way. Tezza a minute down, but it's this man here, Domain Zane, catching... Or when the league gets a 5-second stop go again, and that's not going to affect him though. And he actually could have jumped Man United Jono, but he's not going to stay out. Well, they will be classified in front, because as you can see here, the Mercedes is in AI mode, which means he won't be classified. The Lee has left the session, so he won't be classified either. Very easy points have been thrown away, which means we're only going to have 4 official finishes here at the Singapore Grand Prix. We only had 10 to start with, 9 in qualifying. Frag joined late on. But very poor turnout has resulted in only 4 drivers that are going to be able to score points, because this man here is still in AI mode. And Frag left a long time ago. Zalmas, Jazzy and Miles all retiring very early on. And it is going to be about how quickly Zane can catch and then get past the suffering Force India in front. He has 11 seconds of pens more than the man in front of him. He's got a 5-second stop go that will be added to his time, because the game doesn't automatically add it, unfortunately, which means the stewards have to manually add the time. But the gap is 1.6 and it is falling quickly, and Manuel Hamilton would have been watching that delta time for a long time now. The gap was about 5 seconds, it was hovering at 5.5 for a while, and it's now come plummeting down to 1.4. They've got 5.5 laps to go. Can Zane get past and pull 11 seconds, which is going to be a massive ordeal? And if he does it, then fair play to him. And I just wonder if Hamilton at the moment, can he keep it together? Those tyres don't look too bad for now. Light's a little bit tricky around here, of course, because it is a night race. As you can see, they're struggling out of the traction zones. As we look back now at that Toro Rosso that's ever gaining, she looks a lot more confident on the brakes. Doesn't seem to be able to push as hard though. It's taking it very easy for now. Back end seems to be a bit loose on Zane's car as well. He may be running fairly high ballast, which just means he's unable to get close to the back of Manuel Hamilton. I wonder if he would have picked up a warning for that, possibly. The gap is 8 tenths. Does he have the DRS? Yes, he does. Rear wing open, as you can see there. Did he pick up another? What Zane has been cutting all day, and it's not getting any better for him. And if he picks up another pen, then he might as well kiss his wing goodbye. Gap is just half a second. Zane is much quicker at this stage on those fresher soft tyres, on those more durable soft tyres. Let's just see how much he gains in the braking zone here. Not as much as I was expecting, but about a tenth or so. You go turn 8, this is where he's going to start gaining, where he's got the traction. You see that, just hearing the engine lift and coast. Maybe saving a bit of fuel as well. Oh, and a little bit of a slide there for Zane. Oh, and he's locked up the front left, possibly. And he's all over the place at the moment, Manuel. And he's going to struggle now to really get into a position where he can fight. Because of those tyres and their wear, he's only got to hang on for another 4 laps and 1 sector. Can he hold it together? Zayn is all over the back of him like a rash. Look at the tightness of line the Toro Rosso is able to take compared to the Force India. He's literally touching the back of the Force India, pushing him through the last sector here. Oh, and there's a little bit of contact. I wonder if Zayn got wing damage from that. No, it was just about enough. It's surely going to get past into turn 1 now. Looks to the inside. Hamilton defends. He's made a double move there. He can't do that. And is he going to try? Oh, he's locked up again, and that's it. That's Zayn through. There is no coming back from that, and he's now just got to focus and pull away. Hamilton, as we can see now, unable to fight back. He knows he's got to nurse these tyres. He knows he can't fight. He's just got to pray that Zayn makes a mistake or can't pull 11 seconds, which is still a tough ordeal. And he may even try to get back past here as they come down into turn 7 up the inside. He's going to go for it. They both make contact. Has he gone wide? I don't think so. No, he's just about kept it together. He lets him back through though. Very good sportsmanship there from Manuel Hamilton. He knows that he's on dying tyres, and he knows that he's probably pushed Zayn wide there. And I think Zayn will appreciate that as well, the fact that the Force India led him through, even though he's in a worse situation at this stage. Unless Manuel Hamilton has the most ridiculous tyre wear I've ever seen. And he's actually fine, and what we've been saying all this time is actually a load of nonsense. Because Zayn is just not able to pull away at the rate that you'd expect him to at this stage. Another slide from the Force India coming out of turn 13, the hairpin. And it doesn't look like Zayn is going to be able to pull away in any aspect at all, because he's just not got the pace on those soft tyres compared to Manuel Hamilton on those super softs. Has done massively well. And he had his front wing change earlier on from contact. I can't remember who it was with in the end. I think it was with the wall when he was in front very early on. A little bit of a slide coming out of the last corner, nothing too major. Three laps to go then for the leaders. Let's have a little look at Man United Jono. He's still not in his car, so there will only be 4 finishers. And that is this man, Zonda. Tezza will get the final podium spot unless he somehow crashes. And Manuel Hamilton and Zayn fighting for the lead of the Grand Prix. Although Zayn does have 11 seconds extra pens, and they make contact there. And he's locked up again. Running no assist by the looks of it, Manuel Hamilton, so he's done extremely well. Up the inside, I think Zayn led him through there. Good sportsmanship from both these two drivers. Both mature drivers. Zayn already going up to F2 after this race, so he knows that it's not pivotal that he wins. And there's some good racing going on right now, some good showcasing going on. Oh, and he took a little bit of front wing damage there, Zayn. Oh, there's contact, and Manuel Hamilton's in the wall. And I think there was just a little bit of the fact that he braked a little bit earlier than Zayn was expecting. Zayn's broken his front wing, and as a result of that, it's just sent both of them in complete opposite directions. And Hamilton unfortunately coming worse off. Now this may be what enables Zayn, although having said that, they've both got the same amount of damage, or that's going to affect Manuel Hamilton more. But with 2 laps to go when they cross the line, he might be able to get it, you know. Zayn might be able to pull the time he needs. Oh, you have to say you've got to give it to Zayn now, the win. It does look like it's going to be 11 seconds that he's going to be able to pull, because he's just so low on grip from tyres and of course that front wing. Crawling through the last corner, Delta just keeps ticking up. Well, having said that, Zayn is struggling as well. That front wing is going to be affecting him also, as Zonda, I think, has just let through his teammate. You don't have to see this, 4th getting lapped by 2nd. And Zonda needs to be careful how he goes about this here, because of course he is his teammate and he has got wing damage as well, although he's on fresher tyres. Wouldn't necessarily say he's the fastest driver, but at this stage he obviously feels he is. Gets past his teammate. I'm not quite sure if he led him through or not there, but that will be that. And you never know, he may actually help Manuel Hamilton here, because he may get in front of Zayn and cause A little bit of issues for Zayn. Of course, it is another Force India as well, so he may get a little bit spooked by that one. And Force India suddenly comes charging up behind him in the last lap. We'll see what happens. 4.4 is the gap. He needs another 7 seconds. I don't think he's going to be able to pull that with the damage he's got. Without damage, maybe. As you see there, Manuel Hamilton again locking up and again sliding. He's done well to control this race, though, Manuel Hamilton. I'm presuming he runs no assist. It looks like no traction, no brake bias, brake assist. Sorry, anti-lock brakes. There's the one I was looking for. And we'll see now if he can hold on to this victory that he has through time pens. .8 is the gap with 1 lap to go as they cross the line, which will be in a couple of moments time. Zayn crosses the line. The gap is 5 seconds and counting. Does he have enough pace? I don't think he will, unless Manuel Hamilton picks up a 3-second time penalty. Six seconds is the gap. He needs another 5. Domain Zayn, can he do it? A man on a mission for this win. His last act in F3. Does he have it in his locker? Let's have a little quick look. Man United will not score points, confirmed. The Lee also won't score points. So from 4th up is where our point scorers lie. Quite fascinating, if you ask me. Oh, and that is Zonda taking a very interesting line. I think maybe Zayn spooked him a little bit with seeing another car there. The gap is 8 seconds. He only needs another 3 as they come into the final sector. It's going to be so close, because it is the sector which requires the most grip, the most downforce, and the most turn-in, which neither of these guys have. But Zayn, with better tyres, can he pull 3 seconds? He may not know this, that he's already lost it if he doesn't pull 11 seconds out. Forcing the car to find the grip if it can. Turns him to the final corner. He will take the provisional win here. He thinks he's won it. Manuel Hamilton coming through the last couple of corners now. As long as he doesn't put it in the wall, he should get the race win here. As he crosses the line, 3.6 seconds behind, but Zayn will receive a 5-second stop go added to his time, as the game does not, for some reason, add it. So that will be that. And Hot Zonda crosses the line, a confirmed P4, which means Tesla is guaranteed 3rd place. He could put it in the wall and still finish 3rd. Man United Jono will not finish. The Lee will not finish. Frag also will not be counted because they did not complete the amount of laps required, the percentage required to score points. Tesla, a very good podium in the end. Not that he had to do much, really just keep it clean. And unfortunately, with only 10 runners today in F3, it was quite a boring race, although Manuel Hamilton and Domain Zayn did try to give us a bit of action, along with Tesla and Zonda, although that sort of fizzled out quite early on. But it is Tesla that takes the final podium spot here in Singapore, which gives him a better chance of getting promoted later on in the season. And of course, the mid-season promotion happens now from F3 to F2. But it's what happens afterwards in terms of who gets relegated, who gets promoted at the end of the season from F2 to F3 and F3 to F2, of course. In terms of the standings, just have a little look at what that means. Obviously, Tesla picking up a good chunk of points here. 15 points today means that he will jump onto 45 points and will actually jump. We would have gone ahead of Zonda, but of course Zonda finishing 4th will get 12, so he'll go on to 46. Right behind Zalmas now in the fight for promotion, and Marklin as well, not racing today, means that he is in a danger of not getting promoted. Zayn, as you can see there, 19 seconds at Pens, -5 will be 14, so add another 5 to his time, means that he will finish just under 1.4 seconds behind Manuel Hamilton, who will take home the win today. The debutant does what he does best by the looks of it, and gets a pole and a win, although it is not showing up for us here. The stewards will sort that out later on, and the final classification will be posted in the WhatsApp announcement and indeed the PlayStation chats later on, so look out for those if you're an F3 driver or if you're interested in it. They'll also be posted on Twitter later on, I believe. But that's it for this week. Hopefully we have a better turnout next week. We're in China for next week, so a bit more of a racy track than we've seen tonight, although we've had some good action, so hopefully that can sort itself out, and we'll hopefully expect a few more drivers next week. I've been Lego Minecraft 3. Thank you very much for watching. See you later. Bye bye.